It's that time of the year, man. The 2024 LHSA Prep Classic. I'm gonna take a look at all 8 games and also give my predictions, yo. Before I get into this video, man, for anyone, if you want to drop a dollar on the Cash App, my Cash App information is down in the description box. Also, my social media information is down there. Also, I co-host a sports talk radio show every Sunday. That information is down in the description box. If you're a subscriber to the channel, greatly appreciate the love and support. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification button, like the video, and share with your folks. Prep Classic, man. First off, man, shout out to all 16 of these teams to get to this point, man. Anybody who grew up in Louisiana know that the ultimate goal is to play in the Superdome. To play in the Superdome for a state championship, man. It's a dream for any, young man playing football in the state of Louisiana, yo. There's some greats that never got that opportunity. So it's definitely a blessing. All 16 of these coaches, staffs, players, faculty members, cheerleaders, band members, communities should all be thankful and should be proud, man, of the achievement they had. Hopefully I'll be there Friday. Between the for the Catholic High New Iberia Dunham and the Cecilia Franklinton game. I'll know that pretty soon. Not 100% sure right now, but that's the goal is for me to be to those 2 games Friday. All right, now taking a look at this thing, man. We're gonna go in order. I'm gonna start off with Thursday at noon. You have the Division Four Select State Championship between the undefeated Vermilion Catholic Screaming Eagles and the Ouachita Christian. I don't know their mascot, but please forgive me. Um, Look, first starting off with Vermilion Catholic, man. Jonathan Dortez is big time. Holds all kind of records. Dual threat quarterback, man. Really good with the ball in his hands. Could throw it around as well. Vermilion Catholic is a high powered offense, but as much as their offense get a lot of credit, look their defense, man. They played Kentwood in the semifinals and beat them 33-0, shut them out, man. So Vermilion Catholic is prime and ready. Then you look at Ouachita Christian. They coming off of beating Ascension Catholic in a very, very tight ball game. Look, this is a program that's had a lot of success, man. And this year, an 11 seed, and they still managed to get to the dome. Um, Funny tidbit: these teams played just 2 years ago, and Jonathan Dortez was a sophomore, and Ouachita Christian just absolutely took it to him, man. So for me, honestly, I think Vermilion Catholic get their lick back, man. I think the Vermilion Catholic Screaming Eagles will be your Division Four select state champs. Then looking at the 3:30 game, on Thursday, you have the Division Four non-select between the Haynesville Tornadoes and the South Plaquemine Hurricanes, man. Pretty cool, man. A tornado versus a hurricane when you think about it. First looking at Haynesville, man, coming in number 1 seed, great season. Uh, and shout out to them to get back to this point. They got dominated by Oak Grove last year, who I'm sure they happy moved up. So for them to get back to this point, shout out to them. And for South Plaquemine, man, pretty much always been a solid program. You got a 1 versus 2 matchup here, only 2 of those. I'm gonna go Haynesville, man. I'm gonna go Haynesville. That experience of getting to the dome last year, coming up a little short. I think Haynesville will be a Division Four select state champs. Now looking into the nightcap on Thursday, man. Division Three non-select. You have the number 1 seed there. The St. James Wildcats will be taking on the Sterlington Panthers. St. James, just like Hinesville, got to the state championship game last year in a probably the best game of the whole classic last year. Um, and Union Parish got them, man. They went for 2. They scored, went for 2, got the 2. Heartbreaking loss for St. James. I was actually at this game last year. Well, I left right when the game started. My pardon me, but I was there for the beginning of the game. What again? I watched the end of it, man. What a game! What a game! And for St. James to be down 14 last week to that same Union Parish team that beat them last year and to come from behind and get the win. That's a big gut wrench for them, yo. And for Sterlington, Sterlington is they're a consistent program, man. Every year they damn near in the state championship or semifinals, quarters, or something. And they coming in with a physical football team with a physical rushing attack, man, with two really good running backs. But I'm gonna go St. James here, man. I think similar to Haynesville, them being there last year, I think they got over the kryptonite of Union Parish. I know Sterlington is going to try to out physical them, but St. James got really good athletes. I think St. James gets it done over Sterlington and will be your Division III non-select state champs. Now we move on to Friday, man. The game at noon, you will have the Division II select state championship game between the number one seed Archbishop Shaw and I think they're the number three seed E.D. White Cardinals. Forget what Archbishop Shaw mascot is, but interesting matchup, man. Two teams who haven't, you know, won. E.D. White played I think 3 or 4 years ago for a state championship. And Archbishop Shaw, cool story. The last time they won it, I think it was in '87, I want to say. They got the same head coach. Like he left for a little bit, came back, and now he's back there taking them to play for another state championship. And E.D. White, man, another solid program. Played really, really tough defense. They held a very explosive Leesville team down last week. And then also for Archbishop Shaw, won a couple of close games in a row. The last one being against Madison Prep. This one honestly was the hardest one out of all the games for me to pick a winner. I really, really went back and forth with this one. But you know what? I'm gonna go E.D. White, man. I'm gonna go E.D. White to get the mild upset against Archbishop Shaw in the Dome. I know Archbishop Shaw is probably like considered the home team is in New Orleans. But I'm gonna go E.D. White, man, to win a really, really good ball game. Then you got Friday at 3:30, the Division III select state championship game between the Dunham Panthers. I think they're the Panthers. Dunham Tigers. I think Tigers Panthers, whatever the hell they are, against the Catholic New Iberia Panthers. Now they're the Panthers. I'm hoping to be at this game. So we go see what happens. Very interesting matchup, man. First off, with Dunham, we all know who they got at pulling the trigger over there. Elijah Haven, man, the number one sophomore quarterback in the country. And if you look at him, like, it don't make no sense, man. Like, how big he is, how athletic and strong he is, how accurate he is, and just a very, very well spoken young man, yo. LSU Tigers, y'all on the clock. Like y'all on the clock for these next 2 years to get him. He's a Baton Rouge kid to get him to be the future quarterback of the LSU Tigers, man. Just what a player, yo. And of course, they're getting back to the dome, led by him and just his brilliance. And then you look at Catholic High New Iberia, man. Shout out to them. Jaden Mitchell, man, know his family real well. Really athletic kid. Be on the lookout for him, man. He gets it done, man. Big time offensive player for them. Um, and they battle tested. They battle tested. I mean, they went on the road, knocked out Isadora Newman, and then they went right back on the road to Shreveport to beat the defending state champion Calvary Baptist in a crazy ending. You score, go for two, which I agree with that decision. You on the road, didn't get it, got the onside kick, ended up kicking a walk-off field goal. Well, they had like 1 second left after that. Big time win for Catholic New Iberia to beat that type of program on the road. And look, maybe I may be a little biased, man, but I'm gonna go Catholic New Iberia here in the upset, man. I think they get it done, yo. I just feel like they battle tested. And I think they get after Dunham, and I think they get the upset, and they're your Division III select state champs. Now the nightcap, man. The Division II non-select between the Franklinton Demons and the Cecilia Bulldogs. First off, starting with Franklinton, man, number one seed. Coming in off of two really tight wins, man. The quarterfinal, they beat Lakeshore by a point at home, and then the semifinals, they hung on to beat Iowa by 6 points, yo. Jacob Crane, man, really good quarterback for them. And they got a really good offense and a really solid team, man. They're the number one seed for a reason. And for the Cecilia Bulldogs, man, look, I'm a St. Martinville Senior High alum. So obviously I know a lot of people at Cecilia. Talked to Coach Dennis Gaines multiple times, man. Really good coach. Um, and look, man, they got players. Like they got players, man. Disa Solari, is the headliner, man. Throws the ball, runs the ball, speed, you name it, physical, you name it, just all around big time player. Brett Garden, who's gonna play for the UL Raging Cajuns. I mean, he's dynamic as a receiver and a cornerback. Ella Stewart, who caught a touchdown in this game last year. Brett Garden was the MVP of this game last year, by the way. Ella Stewart, another big time man, player. They got Kylie, they got Davis. I mean, they got players everywhere. like, and they literally, you watch their offense, they make you cover every single blade of grass. Diesel out there when he runs, but when he throws it, man, he could throw these alley oops to Brett Gardner and Ellis Stewart, and they go up there and get it. Um, you know what? To be honest, I'm going Cecilia. Like I'm going Cecilia. And they also battle tested, man. They went on the road. They went to Pearl River and dropped 50. They went to Lutcher and dropped 49. They went to North DeSoto and dropped 57. And they went to Placum and dropped 55. I don't think it stops here. Probably the most dangerous underseeded team in the history of the LHSAA. They went to the state championship game last year and fell short to Opelousas. And all those guys, pretty much all the skill players are back except for the running back, man. So I got Cecilia winning this game, yo, and they will be a Division II non-select state champs. And then Saturday, man, where the juicy games, man. These are the juicy ones. At 12, to me, the game of the whole weekend, the biggest game of the whole weekend, the game that everybody gonna have their eyes on. The Division I Select State Championship between the only matchup between two undefeated teams. So somebody got to lose. Between the number one seeded Edna Call Cougars and the number two seeded Alexandria Trojans. What a big time matchup, man. You got LSU commits on both sides. Just a big time game, man. First off, looking at Edna Call. It's funny, but they ain't been in this game in a few years, man. Which is kind of surprising, given the dominance they've had as of late. Especially that run they had of full straight state championship wins. But led by John Johnson, man. And then they got call him the man child, Tyron Francis, DeWine Stewart at receiver. Um, just athletes everywhere. Stewart is the Louisiana Tech commit. The man child going to LSU. Good running game, good defense, obviously great coaching with Bryce Brown. Look, they've been the standard to me, in Louisiana high school football, for the last say 10 years or so. Then you look at Alexandria, extremely talented team, extremely talented, led by JT Lindsay, the LSU commit at running back. Um, Look, man, this a fun one. I'm not gonna lie, this is a fun one, man. But I think this is the game of the whole weekend. But I'm gonna go ahead in the car, man. I'm gonna go ahead in the car. I think them beating Catholic of Baton Rouge the way they did last week, where they really got tested and had to close out a 2 point win at home. I think that means this team is a little resilient, man. And I think they get it done against Alexandria. But man, Alexandria will come to play, man. That's a talented team who just knocked off John Curtis also by double figures, man. But I'm gonna go ahead in the call to get them winning this one. And then the final matchup of the weekend, man, the Edna Carby Division I Select Champs, the Division I non-select state championship game between the Ruston Bearcats and the Central Baton Rouge. I think they the Wildcats. I think. Forgive me if I got the wrong mascot. Interesting matchup, man. And a lot of interesting stuff leading up to this game. Last week Rustin, man, took apart Destrehan. I think it was like 40 something to I forgot what the score was, but it wasn't close. Rustin has a lot of talent, man. Rustin, their quarterback is going to Tulane. Their running back out there looking like the second coming of Saquon Barkley with that number 26. And then they got Aiden Anding, the DB that's going to LSU as well. And then Central, man, tough, gritty team that's going to make the game, going to make you play in mud. Like, you got to play in mud when you play against Central, man. Really good defense, held down a lot of explosive offenses, and probably got one of the bigger upsets in the state last week, knocking off Neville, which there's a lot of discussion about that game, man. The pregame festivities and Neville's coach afterward. Look, man, I wasn't there. I seen what I seen on the internet. Apparently, Central, one thing that they do is they line everybody, the whole team together, and they walk across the field. From what I understand, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I was perceived to believe, that whenever nobody's out there, they go the whole field. But when the other team there, they go to the 50-yard line. And in the video I seen, I ain't seen no Neville players out there. So they went the whole field. Neville coaches had a problem or whatever. And then Neville coach, when they asked him to give his prediction, I mean, I'm sorry, that was just a very like Rustin gonna smoke him. And look, I may believe you. I may actually think Rustin gonna smoke him as well. But for a head coach to talk like that, man, it's just to be honest. And look, as I said, Martinville alum, I'll be honest. I have a little disdain for Neville. My senior year, our season ended by the hands of Neville. So yes, there's a little saltiness there. But for a head coach to talk like that, man, to me that just let me understand why your team wasn't prepared for this game. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Leadership speaks volumes, and if you're immature like that and petty like that, it explains why your team got beat at home in the semifinal game and only scored 13 points. But as for the game, though, I actually agree with the coach, though, man. I do think Rushton gonna win this game, man. Look, Central has done some amazing things to this point, but I do think Ruston is going to get their second straight state championship and get the win over Central. Well, there you have it, man. There's my breakdowns and my predictions for all 8 LHSAA matchups this weekend. But that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Hit the like button for your boy. Give me a subscribe. I have LHSAA content throughout the year. Y'all have a blessed one.